So it's been a while, everyone, especially since I've diagnosed a car in the shop. Today we have a 2015 Rav4. The complaint is the remote keyless entry. When you hit the lock button, nothing happens. You should be able to see the lights blink. You should be able to hear the horn beep, but we have nothing. So let's jump in and diagnose this. So we already pulled out the part shotgun, put a new battery in this, still didn't fix it. So we checked the key fob with the key tool max, and this is actually working. So now we have to diagnose this. One of the clues I have as to what might be going on with this car is that the TPMS light is also flashing. Now, the TPMS sensors and the key fob that control your wireless door locks all go to the same antenna in the back quarter of the vehicle. So if I have no communication with that receiver, I'm not going to have any communication with my TPMS sensors or my key fob. So first thing I'm going to do is pull codes, make sure I have communication with that module. So I'm going to do a health check now, in all system scan. I'm going to check for any codes that might be stored in this car. And I'm hoping to see a no communication fault with that receiver. I've had a couple of these receivers fail, which is why I think that it's potentially the issue. Codes are up. One of the current codes we have in the main body is a B1247. I'm gonna look at that. Oh, I clicked on navigation instead. Hold up, let's go back. So we have a B1247 tire pressure monitor ECU lost communication code. So I want to diagnose that first. I'm pretty sure that is a code for the receiver. Let me double check. Let me go into Toyota technical information and make sure that that's right. Pretty sure that tire pressure ECU is the receiver. Alright, so here is the wiring diagram. Tire pressure, ECU, and receiver that you can see. It's connector M11. So I'll pull up a wiring diagram. We'll go back to the trunk area to take a bunch of trim apart, and we will diagnose this tire pressure receiver. So anytime you have a no communication fault with a module, you want to check your powers, your grounds, your communication wires, obviously, and 5-volt reference if it has it now. All the inputs to this module are wireless, so I don't have a 5-volt reference to check. It's always a good idea to check them if it does have it. So first thing I'm going to do is check my powers and grounds. There's two powers, constant power and an ignition power. There's also a singular ground. And there's two different communication wires, so do that first. Try to get you all a better view without my head in the way. So I have my test light hooked up to ground on the red wire. This here is the constant power. See, my test light lights up. Right in front of that is a blue wire. Now I have my key on, and this here is my ignition power. See, I also light a test light with that. Now, my ground is going to be pin 12. Let's see. So what is this? It's going to be a white and black wire. Hook the module back up. Now I'm going to switch my test light over to power. I'm using a power probe. Let's see if I can find this. I switched my test light over to power. So when I touch ground, see my test light lights up. Now, using a power probe extension lead from the battery because I love knowing that I have good powers and grounds. So touch the ground wire, test light lights up. So we already know our two powers and our ground's good. Only two things left to check is our two communication wires. Now that is terminal PRG, right? Let's see. have it pulled up on my phone. So PRG and RDA. Now, I have no clue what PRG and RDA are. So if you don't know Toyota wiring diagrams well, there's a section in Toyota wiring diagrams called terminals of ECU. Now that's a savior for Toyota wiring diagrams. They tell you what all those stupid abbreviations are and what they're for. I already pulled up terminals of ECU. I know those are my 2 communication wires. So grab a scope and we'll look at those. PRG is a white wire. Gonna back probe into here. This here is communication from the main body ECU back to this receiver. All right, so I'm gonna slow down this scope some. Actually, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna speed it up. And I'm also going to set a trigger so that we can actually look at these waveforms a little better. So this here is good communication from the main body ECU to this receiver. Now, if I unplug this, it goes away. All right. So what actually happens is this ECU sends out 12 volts to the main body ECU, and the main body ECU pulses that 12 volts to ground to communicate with it. Now the second wire is going to be RDA. RDA is a green wire. All right. Now you can see, based on this waveform, or lack thereof, I have no communication taking place on this RDA wire at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this to show you that 12 volts is coming from the main body ECU. All right, so we have 12 volts coming from the main body ECU. Now, one of the things you need to check is to make sure that this 12 volts is not, that light's so bright. You need to make sure that this 12 volts is not shorted to power. I'm going to take this test light, touch this wire, and we are going to see if it pulls this voltage down. All right, so when I touch this with the test light, this test light should not light up, but I should pull this 12 volts to ground if this is good communication. You can see that I am pulling it to ground. All right, now I want to explain how this communication circuit actually works, but I want to be fully transparent and say that this here is a very simplistic and watered down explanation of how this works. This here is actually a pretty complicated circuit, but in order to diagnose it, you don't need to fully understand how it works. I'm just going to draw a circuit based on how it essentially works. If you want to take a deep dive into how communication circuits work, you can pretty easily find some SAE documents, some white papers, and maybe some YouTube videos that explain the circuitry of how this communication works. But in order to diagnose this, you don't actually need that in-depth knowledge of how the microchips on circuit boards actually work. So we're just going to start with our main body ECU, and excuse my writing, drawing on an iPad is really hard. Our main body ECU was sending out 12 volts through a resistor. All right. Now on the ground side of this resistor, it was watching that voltage. So this here is all self-contained in the main body ECU. Now, we know that on the ground side of a resistor, if we ground the ground side of a circuit, the resistor in it, we're going to have 0 volts when we ground this resistor, this circuit. We also know that if we leave it open, we are going to have 12 volts. Our main body ECU watches the ground side of this circuit. This circuit comes down into our TPMS receiver. All right. Now, this is where things get a little complicating. complicated, and I'm just going to make this as simple as I can by just drawing a switch. So inside of this TPMS receiver, we have a switch, and we are switching this circuit to ground and releasing it. Now the reality of it is it's a microchip that does this. Drawing it would be hard. Explaining it for me would be even harder. So just going to use this for now. So this is all self-contained in our TPMS receiver. Now, when we are scoping this, we have our scope set up. We are watching circuit right there. When this switch is open, we have 12 volts. When we decide to close this switch, it pulls this circuit to ground. When we open it a second time, it's going to jump right back up to 12 volts and again pull down to ground. And it's going to repeat this process to send communication signals back to the main body ECU, who's again watching this circuit. Now, I used a test light. I used a test light because I wanted to make sure that the 12 volts that I seen on the scope was in fact a true communication 12 volts. So if hypothetically this wire was shorted to battery voltage, this would have lit up my test light with my test light hooked there into ground, right? We would have lit up my test light. Now, we weren't able to light up my test light, but instead, every time I touched my test light to this circuit, we were pulling this voltage to ground. How do we do that? Well, essentially we were allowing current to flow through the resistor, through our test light, into ground. Again, we are watching the ground side of our circuit just based on the resistors and the resistance of the test light. We were able to easily pull this to ground, and we knew for a fact that this was not shorted to 12 volts, and it was a good circuit from the main body ECU. So I hope this explains, at least in a simplistic way, how this circuit works, and I hope it might help somebody diagnose this circuit one day. So we know our powers are good, we know our grounds are good, we know our communication wires from the main body ECU are good. Only thing left is this receiver failed. So gonna replace this receiver. I think you need to program the key fobs and the TPMS sensors. So we'll do that real quick, make sure that this is all fixed. So, got back in the car. You can now see that my tire pressure monitor ECU communication fault went to history. So next thing I need to do is program these remotes, make sure that they lock and unlock the door. So we'll go to utility. Today. And we will go to wireless code registration. Hit next. Oh. Next. Now on the next step, I have to hit lock and unlock at the same time, release it after 1 second, and then hit lock. All right. Wireless code registration is complete. I don't have another key. The customer is going to have to bring in their second key for me to program that to the car. So we'll just exit this function. So I'm hooked back up to my green wire. You can see my waveform's good. This car is fixed. Now, like I said, I still have to put this back together, program the tire pressure monitor sensors, probably do that off video. Well, programmed the car. Can you hear the doors unlocking and locking? Here. So the car is fixed. I programmed the tire pressure sensors as well. See that the tire light is also out. So I see a bunch of people struggling with communication faults. Just wanted to make a quick video. It wasn't a hard diag at all. But yeah, just wanted to explain to you how these communicate from the wireless receiver to the main body ECU. Just to communicate tire pressure sensor data as well as the key fob. So I hope you learned something. So hopefully now that the work has slowed down a little bit, I'll be able to make some more videos for you guys. Guess I'll see you all later.